You fucking what, mate?
I do want you to hear this and know that I've got a pretty extensive list of things that they'll do, but it's not a complete list. That's what's sad about it all. Now, as we look at their tactics, them trying to break you, the first thing that we're going to say is that narcissists are deeply committed to being critical. Now, they don't call it that, but their criticism is constant. That goes along with their need for high control, and so they can go into the micromanaging kind of thing. They'll give you advice that you never asked for, you probably don't need. And then taking it a little bit further, we're also going to say that they operate with a mind that I call correctness over love, as opposed to love over correctness. In other words, being right, as far as they're concerned, is the ultimate good, when in fact being right just means that they're superior in their mind, and there's no love in the way that they engage with you. Another tactic that they'll use is they'll pick away at your reasoning. How many times have you thought, well, I'm trying to say what is on my mind, but they can ask demeaning questions, and they can say, why in the world would anybody think the way that you do? Another is they'll use words and gestures and nonverbal communication of ridicule. The rolling of the eyes and the huff and all like that. That's one of their ways of saying, you don't mean anything. I want to break you. I don't want you to think that way. In addition, they'll have lots of pressure toward you to conform. You have to think like me. And when you prove that you don't, then they're just going to keep pressuring you to drop your distinctives and just come along with theirs and just declare, well, you're the great master. I have to bow to every word you say. That's what they want you to think. That being the case, another tactic then that they'll do is they'll negate to you what makes sense to you. So if you say, well, I like it this way, or this makes sense to me, or this is my opinion, they're going to go straight into the let me tell you why that's wrong kind of mindset. As part of their breaking you, they're very willing to argue. And their anger, when they start going into the argumentative mode, can be very ugly, which is their way of saying, if you want to come against me, I'm going to make you pay emotionally, and I'm going to make it miserable for you. That's how they think. In addition, sometimes they may not be openly argumentative. Sometimes they'll go into a passive-aggressive style of engaging with you. And they'll just be so impossible to penetrate and get near and to talk with. And then finally, if you become argumentative in reverse toward them, then they'll point and say, see, this proves how broken you are. This proves how no good you are. And it's their way of trying to keep you off balance. Another of their tactics is that they'll go into the stonewalling mode. Narcissists can be absurdly defensive, but somehow their defensive-ness is tied to, in their mind, your dysfunction. And so you cannot penetrate them. They won't listen. They won't give any kind of credence at all to what you have to say. They always have a justification for who they are, and they want you to justify who you are, but it's never going to be good enough. Another tactic that they use is they will demand your loyalty, and if they can't get their loyalty, then they'll demand your subordination.
I demand your subbing, your undying loyalty.